Welcome to Summerley Raceway at Lark Hall in Scotland for the West of Scotland Kart Club IAME O-Plate meeting, featuring the young drivers today who will be the motor racing stars in future years. In this programme we feature the IAME Cadet British Open Championship final for drivers from 8 to 13 years of age, the Honda Cadet Support Race for drivers of the same age group, and a first on TV in the UK as we feature the Bambino class for drivers from 6 years of age, the youngest MSA karting category allowed to do timed sessions. One driver that knows a thing or two about this kart club is a driver many have described as the most talented karter of his generation, Alan McNish. Recently, Alan spoke fondly about his memories of the kart club, the circuit, and the importance the club plays in developing future motorsport talent.
It's been a big part of so many drivers' careers through the years. I was fortunate enough to race on the old track, which was basically two corners, but then in 1983 it was extended into the national circuit that it is today. One of the best in the UK, one of the toughest in the UK, and a great driver training ground. But the West of Scotland was about developing talent back then, 30 years ago, and it's still about developing talent right now. They've got their eye on the future, not their eye on the past, and I'm a big supporter of that, and also them, because of the beautiful memories that I've got of racing there, what it did for me in my career. And when I go to see the races now, when I can, and also to the annual dinner, and you see the stars of the future, and that's what it's all about. And thankfully the circuit is in good health, but the club is in excellent health, and its members are going to be putting their names up in the top level of motorsport in the future as well.
Now, from a West of Scotland old boy to a West of Scotland Kart Club new boy, alongside me, Dean McDonald. Now, Dean, you are a native of these here parts, so you've been around karting for a long time. Just tell us a little bit of your history first of all. When did you first get a kart?
I first got a kart when I was 1, and I was first out when I was 3 years old.
And where was that? Where did you get out?
I got out here. If you rent the track, I think you can get out. And Crail was a good place to go and test for me to just get a couple of laps in.
Okay, and Alan was talking about the quality of drivers coming out of Summerley Raceway and the West of Scotland Kart Club here. You're clearly one of them. You were the British Cadet Champion in 2012. But what's your greatest memory of this particular track, do you think?
I think my greatest memory is here in 2012. It was Formula Kart Stars. We came here, we were leading the British, and we came here and we pulled it both days, won all the heats and won both finals.
Yeah, and you went on to win the British Championship that year, of course, in cadets. You're trying to do the same thing this year in the Mini-Max class. There's no Mini-Max here this weekend. You've had a good start to the British Championship season, haven't you? You're leading the championship after the first 2 rounds. We're back here in 2 weeks' time for the third round of the British Championship. Home track. I guess you're looking for another win, are you?
I'm feeling positive about this one. I think we've definitely got the pace to win it here. And I think it would be a good support as well. All my family might come down as well, give me a little bit of support. But we are fast around here. The club meeting last week, we were fast. So I am looking forward to Super 1.
This meeting this weekend for Army Cadet, these guys from 8 to 13 years of age, they're trying to win a British Open title on the one weekend. Now, how does that change your thinking in terms of coming into the last couple of laps? You're sitting in third place. How does that change your thinking?
Here, because it's a one-off race, I think everybody pushes that little bit harder and they're not afraid to go for it. But here, you just think it's a one-off race, and all you have to do is just win that one race. But Super 1, I think the key is consistency, and as long as you're top 3 in every race, I think you've got a really good chance.
And you, as I say, you're leading the British Championship at the moment in Mini-Max. So what's it going to take then? Consistency for the rest of the season?
It is consistency for the rest of the season. Obviously, Rowra, we had a win, and Buckmore, we had a 4th. It wasn't as good as I was looking for, but it was a lot of points in the bag, and I'm really happy with that, and still leading the championship, so far so good.
Now, I know your dad's running the Atlantic Racing team, and you're here this weekend giving him a hand. I know you've been watching the IAME cadets out there. Give me a name, one now, just one. I don't want you sitting naming 3 or 4 people. Just give me a name you think's going to take this down this weekend.
Watching practice yesterday, I think Teddy Wilson take it. He's had strong pace yesterday, and I would like to see him win it.
Okay, so Teddy to win. What about the podium spots? Give me 2 or 3 other drivers you think could fill those other podium spots.
It's definitely going to be close. I think Dexter Patterson will be one of them as well, because his win at Rowra in LGM. So and Tom Wood out of IAME as well, and I think Robertson will be fast as well.
Yeah, Tom Wood, no surprise there. Zach Robertson we know is quick. Dexter's an interesting one. He's had some good results, hasn't he, as you say, recently?
Yes, Dexter is a good little driver as well. It was good to watch him win at Rowra. He deserved it. He's been driving good all weekend, and I would like to see him do well here again.
From one McDonald to another, from Dean McDonald, the driver, to Bill McDonald, former chairman of the club, committee member now. But Bill, you know a lot of history about this club. Just tell me when the circuit was first built.
We're now in our 53rd year, celebrated 50th with some of our well-known drivers who've progressed through the club, Dario Franchitti and Al McNish, Paul De Resta. 53rd year now. Circuit was redesigned 1982 into its current configuration, and we're looking forward actually to a new extension and ultimately a redevelopment of a new circuit as well in the future.
Yeah, now that's an interesting one, because there was some talk about the circuit having to move if houses were built locally, but apparently that's been put off. So now we're looking at plans to extend the circuit, and you're looking to develop the other side of the trees as well. So that's quite exciting news moving forward, isn't it?
We need to extend the circuit. So we have planning permission, we have lease offer to extend the circuit to 1,320 metres, and that should happen soon, very soon.
What's the length of the circuit now then?
Currently we are 852 metres. So that takes us up to hopefully somewhere about 55-second lap, which should be fine for the future.
Yeah, it's a real international class track there. That's a big extension, isn't it?
It's a big extension, yes. Yes.
So that's that looking forward. And Alan McNish was saying in his little piece earlier on that the West of Scotland Kart Club's got a history of developing young drivers. We've obviously spoken to Dean McDonald earlier on, but a few other drivers you could mention here?
We've got a couple of lads that have moved on. In fact, picked out by Ryan DL, Grand Am driver. He took, this year and last year, he took our top junior driver to Daytona 500 as a prize for their efforts over the year. So yes, we've got drivers coming through. And
it's well known that karting, like any sport that requires a significant financial outlay from parents and others, been going through a reasonably tough time over the last 2 or 3 years. It's affected clubs. There's talk of some clubs really struggling at the moment, but you seem to be quite successful here up at Larkhall.
We have a very sound club. We've got a healthy membership, stable membership. Yes, some clubs have suffered. We've remained stable. We dropped away from the heydays when it was large grids, but we are very stable. We've got a good income, and we work to save. We save money from all the races for the future, basically to develop the circuit, and also the tar, the asphalt that's out there. We need to resurface about every 8 to 10 years. That's a high cost on the club anyway, but as well as that, we've got this extension and ultimate new circuit to be built. So financially, very, very sound, good membership, annual membership, a gold membership, £450 for the year, and you come up here and you practice for nothing. Race weekends, yes, you pay for race practice and race meeting, but there's a lot of people find that membership is very attractive.
Joined by Dan Hart from IAME Motorsport. Arguably, Dan, the top team in cadet karting these days.
Well, we're doing okay at the moment. It's been a tough start to the year. Sort of the hours and the effort that's gone in behind the scenes. It's definitely starting to pay off now. You know, we're getting some good results, and yeah, we're leading. I think we're leading 2 out of the biggest championships. So yeah, it's going very well at the minute.
And I guess, you know, we needed another team to come along and challenge Fusion, and you're clearly doing that this year in the British Championships, aren't you?
Yeah, you know, Fusion, they do a fantastic job, and, you know, they've been quite dominant over the years, and, you know, I think there was a lot of people that were, you know, a bit bored of the situation with them keep winning and dominating, but, you know, we've come in and we're definitely giving them a run for the money and, you know, getting the results.
And just talk a little bit about a few of the guys you've got in your team, your mechanics here, what the history is, and what they're bringing to your game.
Yeah, I mean we've got a good team base. We've got some experienced drivers up there. We've got Tom Wood and Cian Jewis, which are two of the highest seeded drivers from last year. We've got little Dexter Patterson as well, who's a fantastic young driver. He's only 10 and he's sitting up there. I think he's 7th in Super 1 and he's about 3rd or 4th in LGM at the minute. So he's showing big promise. And we've got little Bray Keneally and Brandon here, which are they're a little bit less experienced and making big improvements and doing a fantastic job as well.
So if you had to,
experienced driver up there with Finn as well, he's only been racing just over a year, and he's we've had a couple of podiums and Super 1 podiums, and nearly won at Rower as well himself. So
yeah, we interviewed Finn a few weeks ago. It's an amazing story. Finn, he's only been racing I think 15 months. Now, if you had to name somebody this weekend, no sitting on the fence, no naming 3 or 4. If you had to name the driver you think's going to take this down this weekend, it's obviously going to come from AIME Motorsport. Who's it going to be?
I think the pace bit from over the last 2 days testing. I think Tom Woods had some stunning pace. The pace he's had on his own without towing around behind drivers and chasing people has been fantastic. Cian and Finn and Dexter have all shown good pace, but I think Tom's probably got a little bit of an edge on pace at the moment.
Okay, we'll see how they goes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big hack. There's going to be a lot of drivers in a long train. I think it's going to be a hard race, but we'll give it a go.
Racing gets underway after the break with the Bambino class for drivers from 6 years of age.